Guys, I'm back in my office, and as much as I'd love to be able to tell you that I learned from my mistakes last time and didn't allow my anxiety the night before to cause me to do all of the morning's work the night before coming, if I told you that, it would be a lie, so I won't do. I basically never learn. I'm like a goldfish. My memory resets every night. Anyway, I've had quite a lot of time to reflect on my life choices here with nothing to do. And I remember seeing something last week that looked really good. It was a self-care readathon for the month of June. It's run by Sophie at Portal in the Pages. And I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, that sounds lovely. And it has like a load of like extra little prompt things, you know, so it has like book prompts through the month. But it also has things like, on this day, buy yourself some socks, you know, clean a room in your house, do something nice for someone, like just along the month. And I feel like now this, my lowest point this week, because I also starving and need to wee again. I've decided that readathon is absolutely brilliant and is exactly what I need in my life right now. So I'm going to do it. Self-care readathon. So I'll link all the stuff below for it if you're also falling apart in life and feel like this will really sort you out, or at least make you feel like it's something you're actively doing towards sorting yourself out, because sometimes lying to ourselves is the best way. Okay, so for the book prompts, there are 8 of them, and I've decided what I'm going to read for each of them. It's like a load of books that I really wanted to get through recently. And because I'm in the office, okay, one good thing about the office, there's a printer and paper, and I have printed off a list. Also, just to let you know, I didn't completely mess up my life this time, and I did bring snacks. I brought this vegan jerky, which is actually delightful, and also I've brought my cup and like a bit of coffee as well to sort my life out. However, I'm still in just as bad a place as last time, because last time I had breakfast, whereas this time I took my kid to Cafe Nero and randomly they didn't have any vegan food there. Like, can we just effing accept that everyone eats vegan food now, even if they're not vegan, because it's delightful, and they should stop shocking things as if there's 2 people in the whole town who are vegan? Filming. Anyway, okay. So the first prompt is to read, it's a physical prompt. So she split it up into like the different sort of recognized categories of self-care. So like physical, psychological, emotional, social, professional, environmental, spiritual, financial. So the first one is physical. So it's read a book with movement on the cover. So for this, I've gone with A Man Named Doll by Jonathan Ames. And this one is about like a sort of noir LA private eye sort of guy who like moonlights as a bouncer, and I think he like accidentally kills someone or something. But he has a sidekick, which is a dog, and on the cover there is a dog, and he is like a bit blurry because he's moving, you know, he's walking. So I'm going with that one. I wanted to read this one since I bought it just off the shelf randomly without ever having heard of it, because just the front cover and the back cover just locked me in. Okay, next prompt. Psychological. Read any book and take 10 minutes to reflect on it. So I wanted to make sure this wasn't just like, you know, something silly, because if I have to reflect for 10 minutes on it, I don't want it to be like, you know, a graphic novel about superheroes. So I picked Paradise Block by Alice Ash. And she's actually, like, I follow her on Insta. She's quite cool on Insta. I think she's like does poetry and stuff as well. She's just quite cool. And her book is like, I think a bunch of sort of weaved mini stories, you know? Just like a bunch of different stories that are related to each other to do with this apartment block. And it's sort of, I think some of them are quite quirky and some of them are quite serious. But I'm hoping that, like, I'll be able to reflect for 10 minutes on how they're connected and like various things like that. So that would be good. Okay, the next one is emotional. Read a book that makes you feel something towards it before you've read it. So like something that you're really like happy to read or excited to read, or, you know, like unhappy to read, I guess, as well. I don't know. So for this one, I'm going to go with Summer Spirit by Elizabeth Hollowell, something like that. And it's a graphic novel, and it's like, I think like a bit of a creepy one, like minor horror, you know? So in this one, this girl, it's summertime, and she normally spends her summers like in a certain way, just like, you know, reading magazines and like sunbathing and hanging out with girls or whatever. But instead this summer she meets a ghost, and the ghost is like super bored. She's like a teenage ghost, and she's bored of haunting the same houses, so they become BFFs. She has like a ghost BFF for the summer, so I think it looks good. Like, also I bought this one just randomly without knowing anything about it, so it could come and bite me in the ass, but I'm prepared. I'm super excited. Okay, so the next one is Social. Read a book which features a healthy relationship. So for this one, I picked another graphic novel because I feel like it's gonna be a good month for graphic novels. I can just feel it in my bones. It's Delicates by Brenna Thumler. So it's the sequel to Sheets. And in Sheets, there was this ghost, this like sheet ghost. Like, it's like a ghost of laundry who comes from a world where everyone wears sheets, and he like takes a train to the normal world and just like haunts a laundromat. Anyway, I don't know if the same kind of story will continue into the sequel, but in the first one, the ghost and this girl in the laundromat, she runs the laundromat because her mother has just died and her dad is taking it really hard, so she has to like keep the family business afloat. The ghost and the girl have like a quite healthy relationship. They're sort of like helping each other cope, like one with coping being a ghost and the other with coping with her mom being gone and everything. So I'm hoping that will continue into the next one as well. Okay, the next prompt is Professional. Read a nonfiction book. And for this one, I'm going to read Beautiful Things by Hunter Biden. And I feel like this is going to be a bit of a tearjerker. It's basically about Joe Biden's son, who was a drug addict for a bit and sort of fell off the map. Like, he was, I guess, like quite successful in his career and everything, but then drug addiction and just like alcoholism or whatever, he just spiraled. And it's his memoir about like him sort of coming to terms with everything, but also his family like trying to save him, like his family like doing their best to, I don't know, like save him from himself, and like all these things like on the campaign or whatever. All the other, like the other side of the campaign was like, oh, where's Hunter? And they used to like shout at their rallies like, where's Hunter, where's Hunter, like trying to say, oh, like you can't vote for him, his son is a drug addict or whatever. But now Hunter's like, here I am. He's like, this is where I've been, and he sort of says, I think it's gonna be like really emotional. Anyway, okay. The next one is Environmental. Read a book with an environment on in the title or on the cover. And she sort of explained this one a bit better in her like announcement video. It's like just any sort of environmental scape or some sort of just environment. So not necessarily outside, but like, you know, a set environment. Just like it can be like a room or something like that. So I've chosen Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, because like the front cover is like just like a room setup, or like a fake room, a model room like you'd find in IKEA. Anyway, this one I think is about a haunted IKEA, or like a store that's similar to IKEA, but it's haunted. Grady Hendrix, I think I originally learned about him from Shan at Pastory Time, and now I've read like all of his other ones and I loved them, so I'm excited for Horror Star. I think a lot of people who read Horror Star and his other ones say that Horror Star is the one they don't like as much as the other one, so my expectations are not high, but still I'm pretty excited. Okay, spiritual prompt. Read a book that explores an idea you may not agree with. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna go with, okay, now, like, you know, stay with me here. Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. So he, as far as I can gather, is slightly crazy, but in a good way, okay? Like Dog the Bounty Hunter. I love Dog the Bounty Hunter. I feel like he's like a life guru, and loads of times he'll just sort of like say things and they'll sound crazy, but then I think about them for a while and I think, Jesus, yeah, life is like donuts. Shit. You know, like something like that. And I think Matthew McConaughey is going to be sort of similar in his book, like his memoir. He doesn't call it a memoir, he calls it like a life guide or something like that, like his like guide to living. Anyway, I'm hoping that it's going to be really good, but also I feel like he is going to say some crazy stuff. Like he's going to be like, this is what you do to live your life, and it's going to be quite obvious that if you do that, your life is going to go to shit really fast, like if you're a normal person who isn't Matthew McConaughey. So I imagine I'll disagree with quite a lot of those things, but also what a fun ride is what I'm thinking. Okay, last one. Financial. Read a book you did not buy or you did not have to spend money on. And she did clarify this and said don't steal it. So that, you know, puts me out of sorts. So I'll have to just use something that I got at the library. Which is Come Join Our Disease by Sam Byers. And this one sounds quite cool and like a bit like wild. I think it's this homeless girl, and the police like flatten her camp or whatever, and they force her to move on, and she enters this sort of program or whatever with a company where they're like trying to prove that everyone, when given a chance, can make something of themselves or whatever. So they say to her that I think she's got like a certain goal and she has to do like a certain thing by a certain time, and then she gets some sort of reward, like they sort of hire her on in their company to do something. But then she like quickly realizes it's all bullshit, and then just like works to sort of like, you know, fight against the system and like topple the man, basically, is what I've gleaned from this. It's probably completely wrong, but I'm hoping it's something like that. And then like alongside the book prompts for June, like the readathon goes for the whole month of June, right? So alongside of them, there's like week 1 prompts for like self-care things to do. So it's like clean a space in your home, do a favor for someone, find a new recipe, make yourself a cold drink, plant something, go for a walk, eat 1 more fruit or vegetable today, you know, just things like that. Like week 2 has good ones like do a task you've been putting off, holy shit, have on 9, text a friend to say you're thinking of them. Like it's just like cute stuff, and it basically makes it that there's 1 a day. Like she said, oh that's silly, like, you know, if you want to do 3 in a day and then none the other days, whatever, but it does make it so that if you're just looking to like mindlessly follow the list, you can do just 1 a day because there's 30 of them. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I might vlog it a bit, like for some of the one, like I'm not gonna like, you know, have a video of me cleaning my house, like don't worry, but like I might do like, you know, mini vlogs of stuff with book stuff and various self-care things. Like I have to go to my in-laws house with my family in a road trip to Doncaster. It's like a 4-hour road trip with like our 6-year-old and our 2 massive greyhounds like stuffed in our tiny car, and that's gonna be leading us into the first week of June, so like maybe I'll have a bit of that. I'm gonna need like a lot of self-care on that road trip in order not to murder everyone. But anyway, if you have any thoughts about this, if you think you might do this readathon, or if you're already doing it, or if, you know, like any of the books I mentioned, you've read them or they look good, or you have any thoughts at all, please let me know. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Bye.